Before we start, answer this honestly. Would you rather earn more money every month or stress less for the rest of your life? Because that single question explains almost everything about the difference between living in the United States and living in Europe. Today, we're breaking down US versus Europe using real facts and figures, covering wages, rent, healthcare, education, and overall standard of living with clear examples from different European countries. And stay till the end, because one statistic surprises almost everyone. Let's start with wages because this is where the US immediately looks like the winner. According to OECD data, the average annual salary in the United States is around $70,000 before tax. In comparison, Germany averages around $55,000, France around $45,000, Spain closer to $35,000, and Italy around $40,000. Now here's the exception people love to mention: Switzerland. Average salaries there often exceed $85,000 per year, even higher than the US. But here's the hook most people miss. Salary alone doesn't equal wealth. What matters is purchasing power and what you get for that income. Now let's talk taxes and take-home pay because this is where the comparison changes. In the US, the average tax burden for a single worker is around 25%. In countries like Germany, France, and Belgium, it can be closer to 40 to 45%. Sounds terrible, right? But here's the catch. Those taxes include healthcare, unemployment benefits, pensions, and often child support payments. In Denmark, one of the highest tax countries in Europe, people regularly rank among the happiest in the world. Why? Because fewer essential expenses come as financial shocks. Now imagine your rent going up by 30% next year with no warning. That's not unusual in parts of the US. In cities like New York, San Francisco, or Boston, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment often ranges from $2,500 to over $4,000 per month. In Europe, rent varies, but protections are stronger. In Berlin, a one-bedroom apartment averages around $1,200 to $1,500. In Vienna, which is famous for public housing, rents can be even lower. In Paris and London, rents are high, but many countries cap annual rent increases. Here's the key difference. In the US, housing is treated as a financial asset. In Europe, it's treated more like a public necessity. Now, this next section is a deal breaker for many people: healthcare. In the United States, healthcare spending per person is over $12,000 per year, the highest in the world. Yet millions are still underinsured. A single emergency room visit can cost $1,500 to $3,000 or more. In Europe, healthcare spending per person is much lower, around $4,000 to $6,000 in countries like Germany, France, and the UK. Despite spending less, Europe achieves similar or better outcomes in life expectancy. For example, life expectancy in the US is around 77 years, while in Spain and Italy it's over 83 years. The biggest difference isn't technology, it's access. Now let's talk education, because this shapes your entire future. In the US, average student loan debt is over $30,000 per graduate. Tuition at private universities can exceed $50,000 per year. In Europe, many public universities charge little or nothing. Germany charges close to zero tuition at public universities. Norway and Finland also offer free education, even for many international students. In France, annual tuition at public universities can be as low as a few $100s. The hook here is simple. Americans often start adult life in debt. Europeans usually don't. Now here's something people underestimate until they live it: vacations and work-life balance. In the US, there is no legal minimum for paid vacation. The average worker gets about 10 days per year. In Europe, the legal minimum is usually 20 paid days, not counting public holidays. In the UK, it's 28 days total. In Germany, it's typically 20 days plus holidays. In France and Spain, long summer vacations are common, and entire cities slow down. Europe doesn't see rest as laziness, it sees it as necessary. Parental leave makes the difference even clearer. In the US, paid parental leave is not guaranteed nationally. In Sweden, parents receive up to 480 days of paid parental leave shared between both parents. In Germany, parents can take up to 14 months of paid leave. In France, childcare support significantly reduces costs for working parents. This directly affects birth rates, family stability, and long-term happiness. Now let's zoom out and talk about standard of living. In the US, if you earn well, life can be extremely comfortable. Large homes, cars, and convenience. But inequality is high. The top earners live incredibly well, while many struggle with basic costs. In Europe, income inequality is lower. Public transport is reliable, cities are walkable, and basic services are accessible. For example, in the Netherlands, over 25% of daily trips are done by bicycle. In the US, that number is under 2%. That alone shows how differently cities are designed. Food quality is another overlooked factor. The European Union bans over 1,000 food additives that are still allowed in the US. In countries like Italy and Greece, fresh food is part of daily life, not a premium option. In the US, food is often cheaper and more convenient, but also more processed. This contributes to higher obesity rates, which are around 42% in the US, compared to under 20% in countries like France and Italy. Transportation also changes daily life. In the US, owning a car is almost mandatory. In Europe, high-speed rail connects countries. You can travel from Paris to Amsterdam in about 3 hours by train. In Spain, high-speed rail connects Madrid and Barcelona faster than flying city to city. This reduces transport costs and stress and improves quality of life. So now comes the real question. Which is better? The United States offers higher earning potential, faster career growth, and unmatched opportunities for ambitious people willing to take risks. Europe offers stability, safety nets, affordable education, universal health care, and more personal time. One system rewards speed and competition. The other prioritizes balance and security. So ask yourself this: do you want higher income with higher risk, or slightly lower income with a stronger safety net? Because neither is perfect and neither is wrong. The best choice depends on the life you want to live. Comment below which country you'd choose and why. And if this comparison helped you see things differently, like and subscribe for more fact-based videos.